Good afternoon. Welcome to a craft and chat. It is Wednesday, the 6th of January 2021. Good afternoon. My name's Amanda Fowler. If you are here, can you say hello? Let me know where you're from, and I will check on my iPad, make sure I am live where I should be. That's always a good thing. Yes, seems like I'm live. Bit of an adjustment there on the camera. We should all be good. Let's see. An itchy nose. Right, Roz is here. Hello, Roz. Good afternoon. How are you, my lovely? Are you well? Good afternoon, Sue. Right, I'm just going to move my seat a little bit. Chris and Angela are here. Hello. Hi, Jackie. How is it up north, Jackie? Is it chilly? It's chilly down here, I tell you. Really chilly. And apparently it snowed this morning. I missed that. I was upstairs getting stuff all set up for this afternoon, and when I'm filming I have the curtains shut, basically because the daylight fights with the lighting that I use for filming, and Brian brought me a coffee and he said, "Did you see the snow?" I went, what snow? I missed the snow. It didn't settle, but there we go. So who else is here? Marion is here, Maureen's here, Jackie's saying it's very chilly up north. Good afternoon, Jen. Good afternoon, Anne. And Jan's here as well. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And everyone is saying hello to everyone else, so thank you for doing that. So how are we today? It's only been 24 hours since I saw you last. Have you been busy? I've been very busy. Bit of a slow start this morning. Got up late. Doesn't happen very often, but it was almost 7 o'clock when I woke up this morning. It was like, that's late. That's late for me. So yeah. So I've kind of, yeah, I've had a good sleep. But what is it about that? You get a good night's sleep and then you're tired all day. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Oh, Stella is here from Texas. Good morning. Is it very early with you, Stella, or is it? Are you 5 hours behind? It's about 9 o'clock in the morning for you, Stella, I think. Oh, Jackie started cleaning the bathroom cabinet. Good afternoon, Claire. Good afternoon, Judith. I brought coffee. Decided instead of tea, I would bring coffee today. Keep me going, because we've got some exciting things to see today. Oh, 8 a.m, Stella. I am hoping that you're having coffee now, so you're 6 hours behind. Hi, Marlene. Lovely to see you. And why are you making Christmas cards? January, it's January. No, why? Why are you making Christmas cards? I have a rule, because I do Christmas so much, obviously, for teaching classes and that kind of stuff. I don't do anything to do with Christmas between Christmas, clearly, and Easter. So no Christmassy stuff in that period. But after Easter, then I start with the Christmas cards. Yeah, Stella's saying yay for coffee. Roz is struggling to get going, is having trouble sleeping. I'm really sorry to hear that, Roz. It does, and it seems to go in phases, doesn't it, this not sleeping. But I hope you get a good night's sleep soon, or maybe a little power nap on the sofa. Claire's boasting now. She's got tea and Jaffa cakes. I love Jaffa cakes. Jaffa cakes. I really want a Jaffa cake now. Although actually I've literally just finished my lunch, so I don't need a Jaffa cake. Chris is saying there's too many good things when deciding, and nearly got caught out with low inventory. Yeah, this is it's always tricky at the beginning of a new catalogue because there's always so many things that you want. And some things are more popular than others. So things will go into low inventory at this time of the year and then they'll come back into stock again. So my advice is always to write a very big list and then pick the things that you're going to get. Katie's got a Stamparatus out. And she's doing some mass stamping cards for WI ladies who live on their own. And Anne is making Christmas cards because she loves them. Oh, that's awesome. And she's doing her special ones done early when there's no pressure. I like your thinking, Anne. And, you know, that's the whole point of card making, isn't it? We make cards because we love to do it. We have the enjoyment out of it. You're thinking often about the person that you're going to send it to when you're making it, and they're made with love. So I can see why you're making Christmas cards now, Anne. That's a really good plan. Okay, so can you hear and see me all okay? The microphone is plugged in and the lights are on. I'm hoping that is all working. Actually, I've got a Christmas card up. Look, that's not good, is it? Huh. Let's take the Christmas card down. We will move that one over there and I'll put some of my new cards up ready for tomorrow. Okay, so I thought we would have a little chat though first today, and my question to you is, do you make New Year's resolutions? As in, you know, 1st of January, a New Year's resolution. Do you make them? If you do you want to share them? And if you don't, why don't you? And actually, is this not the year to make New Year's resolutions? Is it like all bets are off for 2021? I used to make New Year's resolutions a lot. I haven't done for years. What I do is I tend to use the time between Christmas and New Year, actually, that kind of downtime, to kind of think about what I want to do or achieve in the following year. Some of you may have heard it's a scrapbooking or memory keeping movement, really, about having like a one word to set your intention for the year, I guess. And I often do that, all sorts of different words. And a word that has kind of been jumping out at me, I've been using it a lot. And actually, if you read back through the last few blog posts and what I've been writing in my Christmas cards and that kind of stuff, the word is joy. And it just kind of sums up how I want this year to run. So it's not a New Year's resolution, it's an intention. And it's about giving joy, hopefully, in the form of a smile or attention, or I don't know, just joy. I don't know. I can't. My words are not coming out today. I just think that we all need a bit more joy in our lives, and you can find it in the smallest of places. I was watching the robin on the wall again this morning, and he was having a right old toot this morning. There were some blackbirds in the garden, and I just don't think he was very impressed that they were near the food. And he was sat on the wall, busting his lungs, he was. So that is such a joyous thing to see. So grateful that I've got a garden in which I can kind of see that. So yeah, so I'm not setting New Year's resolutions, but I am going to be looking for joy in 2021. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's have a look. So Sue says I am clear as a bell. Yeah, all good seeing here. There's several no's. Roz is saying she doesn't because she normally breaks them. Yeah, Jan's saying the same. Good afternoon, Lynn. Claire is saying she has set New Year's resolutions in the past, but all bets are off this year. Ooh, she's signed up to an Action for Happiness website and ordered a gratitude type journal with her sister, and they're going to do that together. That's brilliant. Happy New Year to everybody and bother the resolutions. Oh, Anne is saying her one word is smile. Makes me happier and will make others happy too. Awesome. Yeah, and I think Claire's just talking about a gratitude journal. I think that's a really lovely thing to do as well. There's lots of kind of variants on that. Some people write in a gratitude journal at the end of the day and write 3 or 5 things in it that they're grateful for today. And it's interesting because I do have that. I don't do it regularly, but it is something that I do write in for things that make me smile and things that I'm grateful for. And it's a really nice thing to look at if you're having a tough day. And I know that some of us are going to be having tough days in the coming weeks and months, as we do always, but now perhaps more than ever. So if that's something that you think that you might like to do, get yourself a lovely notepad and a nice pen, and write things that you're grateful for. One of my friends at the start of the first lockdown, she got a glass jar, and every day she writes something that's made her smile, like Anne said, or something that she's grateful for, something that's made her laugh, just something that is a good thought. And every day she's been putting them into this jar, and she says that, you know, it's one of the best things that she can do. If she's having a tough day, she sticks her hand in the jar and pulls out a few of these happy, smiley memories, things that she's grateful for, and that really lifts her spirits. So that's another thing that you could do. Jackie says that she's got a planner to set goals. Hannah, oh, it's called a joy jar. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I don't know what my friend called her jar, but that is a brilliant thing, Hannah, actually, and that fits with my word for the year. Put everything you feel good in it and refer back. Yeah, that's fab, Hannah. Awesome. So there you go. So, Claire said she made it in. Oh, she made a joy jar in 2019. And she's had a journal but didn't stick with it. Yeah. Okay. So this jar idea is quite popular. Quite a few people are saying that they've done it, or they know of somebody that's done it. I just think that we all need things to make us smile, don't we? Absolutely. like my dog trying to get up the step today. Bless her. So she's we've been taken her to the vets this morning for her annual jabs, and we've talked about this before. Kiva is a very old lady, and nothing works as it used to did, but I think she thinks that she is still quite young, and she tries to jump into the front door. Now we've actually built 2 steps, so for the front door and the back door there are steps now, so she doesn't have to actually leap as far. So she goes onto the step, but she kind of thinks that she's Zebedee and tries to kind of vertically lift off and leap into the door. And there's no need for her to do that. She can just step in. So if she actually put her paw down and then her other paw down, she could actually kind of move herself in. But I don't know. There were legs everywhere. There were about 8 legs. And there's only 4 of her. But she was in her own. Oh dear. Bless her. So anyway, so I scooped her up and gave her hugs and dusted her off and set her off on a merry way to one of her 6 beds in the house. And that's downstairs because she doesn't come upstairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 beds. And it's not a big house. It's just they're in every room and 2 in some rooms. So, you know, pampered pooch she is. So, yeah. Oh, good. Brilliant. Okay. So, shall we have a look at some new stuff? I'm going to warn you now, this is going to get messy. Definitely going to get messy. But, you know, I like a bit of mess when I'm crafting. That makes me smile. What else did I have to say? Oh, thank you for all the orders that have been coming in. That's brilliant, and thank you so much for using the host code. That's fantastic as well. That's really good. I'm keeping an eye on all the orders. I have kind of set information and stuff out about this. Do keep checking on your orders, and if anything looks strange with deliveries and stuff, let me know and I will investigate. Obviously we're in this kind of uncharted territory at the moment with COVID and Brexit and border delays and all kinds of stuff, so I am expecting things to take a little bit longer than normal, but if you keep an eye on it and let me know if you've got any questions, then that would be really, really good. And thank you as well for all of the lovely emails and things that I got whilst I was off for the last couple of weeks. I am working my way through them. There's a lot, so I am doing that as well as obviously doing all my other things as well. So please don't think I've forgotten you. I haven't. I am just working my way through them. So, and you know, there's crafting to do, but I am being very strict and making sure that I answer all the emails before I do any more crafting, apart from when I come and talk to you today and tomorrow, so that's fine. So let's see. Oh, Lynn's saying, oh, Millie is 12? Really? Wow. Wow, Lynn. Yeah, I think the leg's giving way. Kiva, some of you will know, a few years ago Kiva had an accident, and she actually, we think she burst a disc in her back, and she was on crate rest for 6 weeks, which for an active dog was just dreadful. Brian actually had to make her a little pen so that she could lie with me in my office. So her back legs haven't been great since then. And yeah, she's a very old lady. She's losing a bit of muscle tone and stuff, but she's just, the thing is, she just thinks she's a puppy. She doesn't comprehend that she can't do what she thinks she can do, and she just, like I said, she tries to zebedee into the house. But I'm paying a lot of attention to try and stop her from doing that. But today was, yeah, she was just faster than I was. Bless her. Okay. Afternoon, Amanda. Lovely to see you. And Katie has just stamped 40 cards with the Stamparatus. Have I been going that long? I haven't been going that long. 20 minutes. So that's 2 cards a minute. That's pretty speedy. Pretty speedy. Right. So let's turn the camera around. If you are playing along, I am looking at a product suite today, which is called Fine Art Floral, page 32, 33 and 34 of the new January to June mini catalogue. So let me cover over the camera and I'll turn you around and we'll get started. Da-da-da. Let's see. Move that iPad. Whoa. Okay. Right. So let's start out with the catalogue. Let me show you. So this is the product suite. It's called Fine Art Floral, and it has some amazing things in it. And yeah, it is just really, really pretty. And the artwork, I'll show when I show you the papers in a minute. The artwork has actually been painted by one of the concept artists that's Stamping Up. So she's actually painted the images and then they have reproduced them on the computer and then printed them. So really, really lovely. So there is a stamp set and dies, which I'll show you in a second. There is some foiled acetate. There is this amazing stuff called gilded leafing. It's Gilding Flakes is what it is. Not to be confused with gold leaf, because gold leaf is pure gold and this is gold coloured, not actual gold. This is what's going to be a little bit messy later, but you are going to love this. There is some ribbon, an embossing folder, heat and stick powder. I'm going to be showing you this. This is one of my favourite Stampin' Up products ever, and it's not been in the catalogue for a while, so you need to get this and stock up. And then there is the papers. Okay, so let's start out with the papers. And we were talking yesterday about storage, and Jen had asked a question about how people store their stamps and dies. I often get asked how I store my papers, and I use these. They are 12-inch LP or record sleeves that you can buy on Amazon or eBay, that type of shop. And it holds a 12 by 12, and I cut, so the backing of the papers comes in at comes a 12-inch sheet, and I just chop it off, and on the back it's actually got the list of all the colours in that paper. So this paper pack has loads of colours in it, so that makes it great as a like a standby paper pack actually in your crafting stash, because there's so many different colours. You'll be able to find a colour that will go with it in your stash. I do not have any full sheets. I thought I had a new pack, but I don't. So I'm going to have to show you them in strips. So, so let me show you. So I'm going to show you these three first. And you can see the texture, the painted texture. Actually, if I'm going to lift this up really close. Let me see. Can you see that? So the actual painting is actually 3D. So I don't know whether it's oil paints or acrylic. It's probably acrylic, but the original painting would have had lots and lots of texture, and that's actually replicated in these images. So it's really, really beautiful. So you've got these patterns, which are all sort of the pinks and the reds, and then on the reverse you've got sort of painted textured backgrounds as well, lots of bright colours. And then you've got these two, which are much more blue tones. And actually this one is my favourite one. And it's got blue and the greys and the yellows in it. And look at that, that's really cool. So the texture is absolutely beautiful. Now, let me see if I can show you. I don't know whether it's actually here. No, so there are two papers, and it's this one and this one. And I wonder, so these, for the scrapbookers and memory keepers amongst you, let me see if I've got the other bits to this. I bet I haven't. Yeah. Ooh. Right. I know this is a bit weird, but it will make sense in a second. So, I don't know whether I've got enough to make up the picture. So, this one, here you go. Da, 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 da. Look. So this one, so that's makes a full sheet. So let me just bring that down a bit so you can see. So it's like a full picture as opposed to like a repeating pattern. So these look beautiful on their own, but obviously as a full sheet as well. And that's the blues, and then there's this one, and I don't know whether I've got a full. Yeah, I've got a full sheet of that as well, look. So there we go. Okay, so let me pull that down. So hopefully you can see the bottom bit of that as well, the top bit of that. So it's like a field of flowers. It's so pretty. Now, the reason for you seeing that is because of the acetate sheets. So in the catalogue, there are some acetate sheets, and again I have used mine. So they're here, and there are 3 different designs, and one of them matches this, so it goes over the top, so it's really, really cool. But I have a little piece of it that I can show you. So this is one of the cards. So you've got this amazing gold foiling. It's gold on the acetate, it's gold on the front, but it's actually silver on the back. So if you're working on a project, you can do either the gold or the silver. And this here is the ribbon that goes with the product suite, which is really lovely as well. So that's quite a few of the products. Let me now show you the stamps and the dies. Now, what is the main criteria for Amanda buying stamp set? Has it got a really good happy birthday? Yes, it has. These sentiments are every sentiment you need. And they are clean, and they are clear, and they are perfectly sized to go on a card. And then you've got stunning, really stunning images as well. So these are 2-step stamps. So I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. But basically you stamp this image and then you stamp that one on the top, and it will give you beautiful deep texture. You've got some beautiful leaves here. You've got another flower there. You've got more flowers here. Really, really, really lovely. So Amanda's saying, why is this not on my list? It's gorgeous. Yes, it needs to go on your list. It is fantastic. So you then have some dies, and that one, that one, that one, and that one. So these 4 all die cut the flowers and the leaves, and normally I would put that over the top, but this picture here is at 85%. So if I just open that up, let me turn that around, you'll be able to see. So that one cuts that flower and the leaves and so on. Okay, so they cut those, but these also cut some of the other flowers as well. So we'll cut some of the flowers in the DSP, if I can find which one it is. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I think it might be that one actually. Yeah. So it will cut some of the flowers as well from the patterned paper, which is what I did with this one. Okay, so that's those. Then you've got this, which the words say, just want to say. And I have used it here on this card. And I've just put just to say. And then obviously you could put all of these other things just to say you are lovely, or I'm thinking of you, or sorry, or congratulations, or I miss you, or happy birthday, whichever. But again, a paper like this needs so little additional embellishment on it. So that's a couple of cards, and then these are two sentiment banners, and they cover both sizes of words. So really fabulous. I'm going to be using the stamps in a few minutes. So let's just put the dies away. And then I think, apart from the Gilding Flakes, the last thing that I've got to show you is this. This is an embossing folder, and it's a 3D embossing folder. So it's really, really deep. And what's its name? Its name is Painted Texture 3D. And you will be able to see this. So this really looks like you've got a paint palette and you've put it all over the wall. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Really textural, really lovely. Okay. So let's start out with a little bit of stamping, so I can show you this lovely two-step stamping. So I am using the big flower and the detailed stamp, and then I've got the leaves. And the colours that I've got Blushing Bride and Rich Razzleberry and Garden Green. So we'll get those all up. So let's just flower stamped. And then the Garden Green. And because this is a photopolymer set, it's just really easy to get it lined up. Such a pretty thing. So what do I want to put? Thank you. Did say I need to do lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of thank you cards at the moment. So now I'm going to do the detailed image. And what I am going to do for this first one, I'm just going to stamp this off, because although I want the contrast, I don't want it to be crazily contrasting, and line it up-ish. This is a painted image, so it won't be, how can I say, it doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. How pretty is that? Such a pretty stamp. And of course we could just mount it up like that, and it's pretty much done. So that works really beautifully. I am going to make the card base for that in a second, because I am going to do a couple of those, because I just want to show you how the gilded leafing works. So I'm just going to do another one. I'm going to do that more central this time. That was very nearly a disaster. Very nearly stuck that one on the rich raspberry. Okay. Ugh. Okay. I'm just going to redo that. I've got a smudge. Don't worry, I haven't thrown it away. I've just put it on the ground beside me. What I will do is I will trim it and use it again. Let's do my thank you. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put the gold leafing onto this card in a second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of all the ink pads and cut a couple of card blanks so that you'll be able to see finished cards. That would be good. And I'll clean my stamps and do everything. I've got to get better at tidying up as I go. Because what's happening is stuff is getting so messy. And then I have to go and do other work. And then I have to come back and tidy it up. So I need to learn. Can somebody teach me? How do you clean as you go? Right. You're not helping me. I'm waiting for you to tell me how we can clean as we go. No, that is not my New Year's resolution, Rosie. Definitely not. We're not having any of that. Okay. Right. So, let me make this card blank. And then we will be able to stick that first card together. And then play with the Gilding Flakes, because what I have learnt with the Gilding Flakes is you need space to work and you need to be able to try and contain it. I could have an assistant, a Brian, says Rosie. Yeah. So I do have my glamorous assistant, Brian, who does help me, but he rolls his eyes at me basically because I'm so messy and he is not messy at all. You know, he keeps his tools and stuff in the garage. He keeps everything so beautifully organised that he can go in there and doesn't matter what I ask him, he can put his hand on everything. He knows where everything is. It's ordered, it's tidy, and that is just not me. Rosie's saying that I could extend his contract. I could. That might work. There we go. Okay, so beautiful, simple card. So easy to do. Just really lovely. Okay, so let's talk, because we've now got this one we're going to actually work with. Let's talk about Gilding Flakes. So lots of companies do Gilding Flakes. Some of you may have some already, so I'm hoping that my hints and tips for you today will help you if you're not sure how to use them. The first thing that I will say is don't open the pot until you have somewhere to contain it. So it is like the fairy tale of the porridge pot that never empties. It doesn't seem to matter how much you use this, it just keeps giving. And you need to be able to contain it. And the thing is, you'll see in a second when I open the lid, there isn't like, you know, sometimes on this type of tub, you've got like a film seal on the top. Well, there isn't one on this. So it just kind of expands. So what I've got is a nice tin. So I have tried Gilding Flakes in like obviously a bigger pot than this, but this type of Tupperware type pot. This is a lock and lock pot, but this type of pot. And it's not very deep. And the problem is it kind of poofs up. It kind of expands, and it's not that it is expanding, because it can't expand, but it seems to. So this is a tin that Stamping Up did a while ago, and yeah, so this is kind of what I am using. And the thing is, it's big enough for me to put a card in this way or this way. And I've just realised, I've just taken one thing out of the tin, but I am missing a vital piece of an ingredient that I need. So just have a chat amongst yourselves, look at a pretty card. I'm going to run downstairs and go and get it, and you'll see why in a second. I'm back. Okay, this is my vital piece of equipment. Not a sponge, Rosie. No, not sponge. A paintbrush. And something else in a second. I'm out of breath now. Obviously, as you can see, this is a well-loved paintbrush. It's covered in all sorts of colours of paint. But anyway, so I'm going to open this, and I don't want you to worry. So, okay. Don't play with this if you're sneezing. So this is the Gilding Flakes. And the fabulous thing for me is these are big pieces, really big pieces of Gilding Flakes. Okay, you can pick them up with your fingers, and I do use them with my fingers, but a dry brush works really well at lifting them. Okay, so I'm actually going to just take that big bit out. Just put that big bit in there. But look. So I've taken some out. And look, the pot still looks full. So it's all a bit crazy, but it will just float around, and as I'm talking it does kind of float. Okay, so I'm just going to put the lid back on there, and then I know that that's safe, and then the stuff that I'm working with is kind of contained here in this thing. And you'll find that you get stuff on your worktop, so just kind of scoot it back into your tin and it will work. Okay, so there are lots and lots of ways in which you can use the Gilding Flakes. You need glue of some description. Hi Sarah, thanks for joining us today. So Stampin' Up have re-released the heat and stick powder, which is one of my favourite products because it is an embossing glue. So this is actually going to be the last way I'm going to show you how to use it in a few minutes. But what I would say is, if you check out on my YouTube videos and put in heat and stick powder, there are a few projects that I've done over the years, and we Stampin' Up no longer sell glitter, but I am sure in your stash you have glitter. You can use this heat and stick powder to make a glittered stamped image with anything using exactly the same techniques that I'll show you in a little while. So even if you decide that the Gilding Flakes aren't for you, but they are so much fun, then the heat and stick powder will work with glitter. So I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've got my silicone mat, so you can use the Gilding Flakes on your tear and tape, or your snail, or your seal. Actually, I want a bit longer piece, so let me just do that. I'm just going to put 2 stripes there so that we can tell the difference. Now, if you want really straight lines, use your tape. If you don't mind, oh, let me just roll that on. You don't mind whether it's completely straight or not, then you can use your tape runner. I also want to show you on this as well. So I'm going to have lots of fun with this today. Ooh. Now you do need quite a dry adhesive. It doesn't work with a wet adhesive. So by dry adhesive, it's like your tapes and your stamp and seal. So let's pop that there. Okay, so I'm going to start here with this one. So this is the seal. And as I said, right, so I'm just hoping that you're going to be able to see. You can just pick the gold leaf or the gilding leaves up and just pop it down. Okay, so you can just do that. If that is a bit messy for you, just get a paintbrush and use that to pop it down. And what you want to do is just to make sure that there is the gilding leaf over the whole thing. Yeah, don't leave kind of any glue uncovered. You can then use that same brush actually just to get the worst of it off, the extra bit off. But then this is my secret weapon, a blending brush. Now, you saw this last week when I showed you these for ink blending, but these are amazing for buffing up your Gilding Flakes. So just rub over the top like that. I'm just getting the extra bits off, and I'm just going to move that out of the way now. And then I just rub over like this, and basically you are burnishing it. And look at that. This is very different to heat embossing. It gives a different texture. It looks different. It's just so beautiful. I just hope that the camera is picking it up. Okay, so I'm just going to do these 2 lines of tape as well. Just to quickly show you, it works. Ooh, works so well on this. So again, I just pick it up and I just dab it down, or like I said, get a paintbrush. I can't believe how big that piece is. Look at the size of that. It's huge. But you're not wasting any, because anything that doesn't stick just floats back down into your container. Yeah, so you just get the worst of it off. I've got to stop saying that. It's not the worst of it, is it? It's just the extra bits. Right, so I've got a couple of bits that are missing there, so let me just put that in. And this little paintbrush as well will allow you just to pick up tiny bits. Okay, so then again, blending brush over the top, and it's like you're polishing, it's burnishing, polishing it. Look. So I'm hoping that you can see that this is actually flatter. The tape is flatter than this, which is the glue runner. So where the glue runner, the texture of the glue runner is more bumpy, that is actually reflected, and then this is much, much flatter. Now, one of the fab things that you can do is I've just run the glue runner around the edge of the card. Look, it's so pretty. And I'm just sticking it in all the way around. And what it's actually, look how pretty that is. What it's actually doing is it is picking up all the little extra bits as well. You know, the little tiny bits. Oh dear. You know, I said my word for the year was joy earlier. Well, this is pretty joyful, isn't it? I mean, seriously. So much bling. Okay, so I'm just going to get the extra off, and then we'll just give it a bit of a burnish. I'm just going to, can you see, just pull off these extra bits. And interestingly, they don't stick too much to your fingers either. I did think when I first started playing with it that I was don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't waft your paper in. Oh dear, right, I'm just screwing that in. Yeah, okay. So normally, what I did was what I normally do when I've got like embossing powder on it and I rattle it in. Do not rattle it in your tin. Right, okay. So let me just burnish this. And like I said, all these extra little bits here, they can all go back in the tin. Now this will work really well as a layer. How about that for a matten layer? So pretty, so pretty. You know, or even sort of a smaller layer like that. Okay, so that works really well. Ross says to be careful crafting with an open window. Something that I did earlier. Now, this is Amanda trying things out. So you can't use Tombow really with it. It just doesn't work. But I don't know whether you can see this, I actually wrote my name in Tombow earlier. And in case you didn't know this, Tombow works as a repositionable glue, like a post-it note. So if you leave it to dry, it becomes sticky. And I thought, well, I wonder if I did that, if I could use it. And actually, that's what Amanda's just saying, I think. Doing leaves with it and things. So, oh, that's so funny. Let's just see. Getting it all over. And I know Chris has just said her and Angela are wondering how much mess they can get into with it. And I mean, I think the thing is, so long as you've got somewhere to contain it and you don't do silly things like I just did, you'll be fine. I mean, this isn't everywhere. I mean, it is just in this place, in this area that I'm working in. And I will have to wipe down the table when I'm done. But there's probably no different really to when I've got ink out. I am keeping this brush, this blending brush, just for this purpose. So it is going to live in here with the paintbrush. So let's just see. Yeah, you see? So So you can use the Tombow. So in order to, if you want like little dots or accents or something like that, you can use your Tombow and allow it to dry. So that will work really well. Yes, so Amanda's asking about Versamark. Versamark is what we're going to do next, but you need heat and stick powder. So that is what we are going to do next. So in order to make the heat and stick powder stick, you need a Versamark ink pad. Versamark ink pads start out life a really nice cream colour. This is the cleanest one I own. It's a glycerin based ink pad, so it's super sticky, and we're going to use that to put the heat and stick powder on. Now with any embossing powder or heat and stick powder, I always decant them. So what I do is, I have actually got another tub of this. So what I do is I put the whole tub in there, and then I have a second tub, and I keep the second tub in the pot. So I always know that I've got some spare. Basically, many years ago when I first started as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I went to a customer's house and I dropped the embossing powder on the floor, which meant that we couldn't use it for the project. And ever since then I've been traumatized that if I drop this, that means I'll have none. So I always have a spare one. So I will be putting my spare one in there. So let me get that card out. So this is the card from earlier, and I am going to be putting this detailed stamp over and putting the heat and stick powder on it. But before I do that, actually, what I am going to do, have I got another colour of card? Yeah. Before I do that, I'm going to show you how the heat and stick powder works, because it's going to be hard for you to see on that stamped image. So let me just get this. So what did I do with my heat gun? My heat gun plugged in. So in order to make this work, you're going to need a heat gun, and you're going to need a Versamark ink pad. So I'm just going to ink this up. And stamp it down. So you'll be able to see the detail there. You then put the heat and stick powder on. Now, heat and stick powder, when you look at it, it's quite granular. So it's not like our really fine embossing powders. So if you've ever had Stampin' Up! Embossing powders before, this is much more grainy. It also smells a bit. It's not horrendous, but it smells different to the embossing powders. Obviously this looks very similar to the white embossing powder and the clear embossing powder, so make sure you mark your tin so you know which one it is. That's actually another good reason for putting in your spare pot. So just cover over your Versamark image Make sure you get plenty of powder on there. So you'll be able to see the powder. And let me just grab this silicone mat so I don't melt my table. Now, watch this really, really carefully. This will heat up way faster than any embossing powder that you have. It will melt really, really fast. Don't overheat it. If you overheat it, it will lose its stick. Basically, what you're doing is making this into glue. So you don't want to overheat it. So I'm going to apologise for the sound for a minute. Whoop. So can you see that's melted already? And that is as much as you need to do. You do not need to put any more on than that. So I will just put the gilding on this so you can see, and then I'll do it on the card properly. So we're just going to pop that on there. Just make sure all of the gluey areas are covered before you start to burnish it. It won't stick if there's no glue there, so you're not going to waste it in any way. There we go. There we go. Brush off the excess. And then you can just burnish it again. Okay, so this isn't going to look awesome because it's an insert of a flower, but it will give you the idea of the way it works. Okay, so I'm actually going to do it for real now on the card. So let's get that inked up and let's see if I can aim this better. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. I'm also going to plug the power cable in. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Taking my glasses off, put my glasses back on again. Let's just see. There we go. That's where I want it to go. Give it a good old press. And you won't really be able to see it. I'll get the powder on it. So it's heat and stick powder. Move the powder out of the way. Right, it's going to be noisy again while I heat this. Okay, so you can actually see sort of the glossiness. Let's just pop this down. Look at that huge bit, look. So cool. Move that out of the way. And now we're going to do the burnishing. I've got a little bit extra just there. There we go. So you can see here now, you can actually see the texture underneath. So when I showed you, so where are the other bits? So when I showed you these other bits, so the tape gives you the really smooth finish, and the glue runner slightly more bumpy finish. And again, this is another textured finish. It's so pretty. Okay, so let me just get that all mounted. Actually, I'm going to mount that in reverse, I think. Rosie's asking if you would need to use the embossing buddy. You could do if you wanted to. It is a good idea to kind of use an embossing buddy just in case you've got static on your cardstock. I don't tend to, but that's more that I just don't tend to, as opposed to that there's no kind of reason for me not doing that. So I'm just going to pop that down and pop the layer on the raspberry card. So again, it's exactly the same card, apart from the colours are reversed here. But obviously this one is stamped and this one is got Gilding Flakes on it, and I've got glue now, look, on my table. I pop that there like that, nobody will see. Hopefully nobody will see. You'll know, but nobody else will know. Remove all of the things out of the shot and hold that down there like that. So there you go. Right. So what do we think then? Who's going to be brave with the Gilding Flakes? What's its official title? Gilded Leafing. Oh, my coffee's cold. I've been chatting a long time. Anne says, thank you for the demo. She's sold on those flakes. The card on the left looks larger. That's really interesting. Rosie says it looks bigger. Yeah, well, I can honestly say they are exactly the same. Exactly the same. I hope that you will give these lovely Gilding Flakes a go. They are lots of fun. The Fine Art Floral Suite is amazing too, obviously. So I did have another couple of cards as well. And I'm sure actually you are probably going to ask me, let me just show you this on this card. Can you see these little dots here in the center? These dots are made with a blends marker. So there isn't a stamp to do that. I just used a blends marker just to do dots. And yeah, the other thing, so you know I said about the happy birthday and the thank you and so on. The dies that cut these out, obviously cut the words out, but if you've got the modern label punch, hang on, honestly I should know it, I use it all the time. Which one is it? Which one? Classic label. The classic label punch will punch out the happy birthday. It will punch out the happy birthday, the good luck, the thank you, and the best wishes for definite as well. So that works really, really well too. So let's have a look. Rosie saying, need a baby wipe on my worktop. Yeah, microfiber cloth and elbow grease shortly. Sarah's not got them yet. I like the yet, Sarah. Rosie, I'm really sorry, but no, I cannot pop round and tidy up. I have to tidy up my own cards first. Hi Val, she loves using the Gilding Flakes. She's got a few tubs. Janet says I make it look easy. She doesn't have the courage. She's not very good with embossing at all. I think the thing is with heat embossing, it's one of those things that can you can overheat it and things, but I'm convinced that there are some things that we love to do and some things that we don't, and if it's not something that makes you smiley, then I would do something different. Marlene, is which a card? Is it this one? Is that what you're asking, Marlene? In actual fact, yes, they are all cards. But this is just a double fronted card. So it's got acetate, and then this is actually one of the ombre sheets from Celebration. Amanda's asking about the glue for the acetate. I just use tear and tape. And then I've used glue dots here. And they're pretty much invisible, to be honest. But I use tear and tape. Sarah's saying hand sanitizer can work as well on the desk. Yeah, that's good. Got a bit of that in my stash currently. Plenty of hand sanitizer. Yeah, so there you go. So that is everything for today. I am going to love you and leave you. I will be back again tomorrow with more things to show you. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Oh yeah, Marlene was asking about this. It looks like a notebook. It does, doesn't it? And you could quite easily make it into a notebook. It would look really nice, actually. I put this extra strip here, this extra strip on the acetate, just to give it a bit of weight, so it held it. There you go. Fabulous. Thank you. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So till then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And if you've got any questions about anything that you've seen, if you want to purchase any of the products that you've seen, if you scroll down, whether you're on Facebook or my blog or YouTube, you will see clickable links to all of the products. So take care. I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.